I went on a self healing journey, I guess you would call it. I don't really know what to call it, but I pretty much isolated myself for about the whole year. Of course, I spoke to people, but as far as going out, going on dates, or even entertaining anyone, I didn't do any of that. No sex, no partying, none of that. And I devoted a lot of time to God, and I don't know. That was the most powerful and most righteous I ever felt in my life. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. No, you know now. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. No, you know now. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. No, you know you think of that. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on?
You need to work on your year.
A
Say
little
with your
louder?
chest.
A
Say
little
with your
louder?
chest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
little better?
yeah. Welcome
Thank
to
you,
the
thank you.
podcast. Welcome to Mind Over Matter. Thank you for joining me. Episode 67. Big 67. Big 67. I said 66 earlier, but I messed up. It was 67. Like, I got it right here. I got it in my notes.
Alright.
That's how true it is.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's
of
a pleasure.
course, of course. So, welcome to the episode. If this is your first time joining me, thank you. If this is not, I appreciate you. And kick back, relax, and enjoy this episode. I have a lovely guest with me today. You could go ahead and let the people know, connect with you a little.
My name is Meli. I am the brand owner of Measure Life. I'm also an associate architect, born and raised in Brooklyn and Queens, New York. Don't ask me how both, but Brooklyn and Queens.
Brooklyn or Queens? If
I
you had to
jack
choose,
Brooklyn.
all right, all
I
right,
jack
all right.
Brooklyn
He's
for sure.
valid there. He's
I just
valid there.
reside in Queens, but Brooklyn is where the heart is at.
Yeah. Period.
But yeah, that's me. I'm Meli. Follow my Instagram at MeliFet. Move the
Hmm.
mic. Follow my Instagram at MeliFet and the brand at Measure.life.
Exactly. You see this
You feel me?
quality products.
Little
You get
slang.
me? See?
Little,
Your
little
hat don't fit
slang.
like this. Hat don't fit like
Wait till
this.
they feel it too.
Yes, like
Nice,
it's
nice little
really like
suede joint.
textures. There's really details in it if you really look at it. Like the patch go crazy too
If
at the
you know, you
side.
know. Stay
At
Meli.
the side, yeah. But on today's episode, we're gonna be talking about just design and how to bring intention into your design, mindfulness, because this is a mindfulness podcast.
Right.
So that's really what I want to get into today. I also want to talk about just your inspirations, your upbringing, why you even started your clothing brand. What does Measure Life mean to you? And yeah, so just like tell people, how did you even start it and what does Measure Life really mean to you?
Okay. If you don't mind, I want to ask. I know it's your podcast, but I want to
Yeah.
ask you what you
Of
think.
course, this is a
Measure Life.
conversation.
Nah, no, but
Like,
some people they
I
get a
gotta
little
set
funny.
the stage though.
But usually I
Yeah.
like to ask people what they think Measure Life means. Like when I introduce them to the brand,
Oh,
I
I
was like,
like that.
what does Measure Life mean to you? So when you hear the name Measure Life, what do you think?
So I'm deep. All right. I want as soon as I hear measure life, I think of like longevity, because when you think of measuring something, either it's gonna be short or long,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's different mindsets we have. So when you measure life, like Nipsey Hussle said life is a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
So I think of like long term mindset because that's where my mind is. So when you say measure life, I'm thinking long term longevity
Right.
and to really look at life as a marathon and not just to live for the next day from paycheck to paycheck. That's where
I like
I
that
go.
answer. That's probably one of the best answers I've ever gotten too.
Yeah, I'll be thinking.
But what I usually tell people is, pardon,
Hmm.
measure life. It just means to live life with purpose. So everything that you do, every morning that you wake up, go out and live with intention. So don't just do things because it's what's deemed to be popular on social media or anything like that. But do what you love and go
Mm-hmm.
hard with it. And then
Exactly.
along with that, I try to push my faith in God as well. Once you have faith in God, I feel like everything just gets a little easier because that's a weight off your chest that He's taking control of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's measure life. Just live life with purpose. Every room that you enter, lead with love. Leave with love.
And I think
Stuff
that's
like that.
why I even connected with your brand because it aligns with my brand.
Right.
And it's like, yo, we were born on July 28th too.
Yeah,
That's OD.
that's
Like, I
so
just
crazy.
figured that out.
That's so
Like,
crazy.
that's crazy. Shout out
We
to all my
twinning. We
Leos.
twinning. You feel me?
Exactly.
We twinning.
Gang shit. Gang shit. You see
Gang
it?
shit.
See it?
Little gang.
But that's really crazy because I feel like that's what mind over matter is.
Mm-hmm.
It's really looking at life with like a conscious outlook to really take the time and do the work to understand yourself and to really put life into your perspective, not
Right.
what outside factors are telling you your life should look like.
And that's really big because we was just talking about it earlier, but with social media nowadays, like everything is pretty much scripted. So I feel like whoever's behind those social media walls, they're scripting a narrative for all of us. And people nowadays, they don't really have an identity. We're just following what's on social media. So because everyone's just following what's on social media, I decided to just use the brand as a way to show people something positive, something that's not contrary to everything that's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what measure life is. I'm trying to be positive, and along with that, I figured that while I'm spreading this positive message through my brand, I want to do it in a fly way. So I was trying to figure out ways to make my brand fly while being positive. A lot of brands nowadays, they're just promoting sex, money, and drugs, and I don't feel like you have to do that to look good. You can look good with love on your shirt, something
Mm-hmm.
positive.
And even back to like a lot of, I feel like, especially social media isn't all bad. A lot of people were able to launch their
Right.
businesses from social media and really get the engagement they needed that they couldn't get without social media.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there is some aspects that concern me that do feed into that short term mindset
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, okay, I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna like spam my feed with like, my content, and then I better get here if I do that. And
Right.
that's not the case. You could spam your social media and keep posting and not get any likes.
Right.
And it's okay because you still created something and it's
Mm-hmm.
still valuable. And that's really the mindset like I wish more people understood.
Just put it out because you created it
Exactly.
rather than for a reaction.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But I
Um
feel like we gotta work to that because social media started off with who I mean actually I think social media kind of started off the way that we want it to be, where
yeah,
people were
yeah.
just posting just to
Mhm.
post because it's something new. But
Mhm.
after a while, it just grew into a popularity contest. But I feel like at some point that's just known to be human nature. Like everyone wants to be the most popular. Everyone wants to be cool
Mhm.
or whatever.
Yeah, and I think it's also like back to agenda setting too. It didn't start off like that because it was like wholesome and it was genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And then when agendas came in, that's when like people learn you can manipulate the masses again with this new media.
Right.
Because media has always been known to manipulate the masses into thinking a certain way.
Yep.
But social media is just this new form of it. And if you don't really know yourself, you could really lose yourself in it. It's
That's
a
a bar.
whole, yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
bar.
it's a bar. Quote me. Don't quote me, but quote me.
If you
Get
don't know
me.
yourself, you can really lose yourself.
Yeah. So who inspires you? Why did you even like you didn't really you just like reverse card me. You didn't even answer the question for
My
real.
boy. So what was the question? Who inspires me?
Like why did you start?
I think I answered that.
You did?
Pretty. Oh no. All right. I really started the brand. It's been a thought since like middle school. Like yo, I wanna start a brand. I've always
Mm.
been into clothes, but I wasn't. I don't come from a rich family, so I couldn't get everything I wanted. I couldn't get
Mhm.
the True Religion with the BB hat and all of that back in like middle school and stuff. So I'm
Mhm.
like, you know what? When the time comes, I'm gonna start my own brand. and the thought really started to like get going in college because I started making my own money, but I was struggling to figure out a name. I think at first the name was gonna be like G2G or something like that because I spoke
Got to
about it.
go. What does that?
No, I spoke about it with my parents, and they're like, "Yo, make sure you include God in your brand." So I was gonna do "Glory to God," G2G. But I'm like, it's cool, but it's kind of corny.
Mm-hmm.
But then after a while, I was just writing stuff down, and Measure Life came to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I went to school for architecture, and I value my life a lot, so I guess that's where Measure Life came from. I still don't really know exactly how that thought came up, but Measure Life. And even that, I didn't really like the name at first. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to push this as much as I can, and let's see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I pretty much just started it to have a way to express myself and a way to make stuff that I couldn't afford back in the day, but through a positive outlook.
I like back to your architecture background. I want to tap into that real quick because if you don't know, now you know I had an architecture background.
Okay.
Studied it for like 4 years in high school. I really wanted to be an architect, but like when I actually went out in the field, it wasn't for me. Like too many hours like behind the computer for like things that doesn't really fulfill me. You know what I mean? But when what I did take away from architecture is that using like these complicated computer programs helped translate into my editing because like it's a lot that correlates with like using those same programs like Adobe Premiere Pro is very similar to like Inventor. That's the program I was using before. So how does architecture like translate into your design? Because I feel like everything is connected and everything happens for a reason. So how did that like translate into your design?
I think it gives me an edge on other people because with architecture, I did 4 years of college of architecture. I didn't go to high school. I didn't do any type of architecture before college. But in college, I learned to be a little detail oriented. So I guess that translates over to the brand because now I just see things a little different. I can't really explain it how I see it in my head, but certain things I'm just like, nah, this needs to look like that, or this needs to look like this. So I just pay attention to details more than the average person would when it comes to clothing or really anything. Like it's even sometimes that I'm looking at stuff, like let's say that the frame on the wall, I could just look at it and just be like, yo, that's not perfectly angled, and like I won't say that loud because people be like, yo, what are you talking
It
about?
isn't.
But that's just how my mind works. So I think that gives me an edge when it comes to creating in a way. And like you said, some of the programs that we use in the softwares, I'm able to use them for fashion as well. Like AutoCAD, you could create designs on there. There's rendering softwares. You can use people and create little mock-ups on there and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's very like similar. It's like, wow, I didn't even know. Like even like the copy and pasting thing, you do a lot of copy and pasting like for me when I'm editing. And it's like, yo, like maybe those 4 years didn't go to waste, you know?
Everything's for a reason.
Exactly. Isn't like Virgil Abloh, didn't he have an engineering background or architecture?
I'm not sure exactly what it was, but he did. I think he went to school for architecture. I don't think he graduated with the degree. Don't quote me.
But he still studied it.
Right. And he's not the only one. There's plenty other like people within the fashion world that went to school for architecture. I think David Ajay, he's more so on the architecture side, not fashion, but he did transition over at some point in his life to create Stephen Curry's sneaker. He created the design for Stephen Curry's sneakers.
David Ajay. Haven't heard
David
from
Ajay.
Ajay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's I think he's African.
Who inspires you? Like, who do you really look up to? Like, they're fly, and you would want to collab. You know, like.
That's a good question. I'm not gonna lie, ASAP definitely. He's one of the fly.
ASAP.
Pharrell, I like his like minimalistic but poppin' look. He doesn't do too much, but it says a lot. Who else?
You like more streetwear?
I like everything. I'm not gonna lie. I like a little bit of everything. But as far as what I would wear, I don't go too deep into like all the high fashion stuff because like
I think it's because
I'm a
where we're
simple guy.
from
Right.
too. Like Brooklyn thrives on street culture.
Yeah.
You know, where like is your brand like? Where does it fall in that category?
Right now it's more so on the streetwear side,
Streetwear.
but I do want to get into like high fashion and lifestyle type of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just doing streetwear is it's minimalizing my potential. Cause streetwear, literally everyone's doing streetwear. There's
Yeah.
1,000 brands that you could find in a day. So I'm trying to get into high fashion, get into even furniture. I want to do furniture.
Oh, that would be
I
cool.
want to do furniture.
That would
one
be
day.
cool.
Like you see how Supreme they do their home goods. And
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
That. I wanna eventually get to that level, but everything takes time.
That'll be dope. I could see you in the same category like Von Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like this hat reminds me of my Von Dutch hat
Right.
a lot, and I love that hat so much.
And I suede.
And I feel like Von Dutch is streetwear, but at the same time, they get noticed in the high fashion end too, and I could definitely see that.
But that's also because of the years that they have in the game. I think like they've
yeah,
been around for a minute.
Yeah, like for a while. I remember like when Ed Hardy was out, Von Dutch was popping too.
Yeah. Good times.
It was simple times, times. I remember I fiend for my Ed Hardy shirt. Oh my gosh.
Now we all grown, responsibilities. And stuff. It is what it is.
Ed Hardy still hits though.
It's coming back.
Yeah.
I'm realizing a lot of stuff that we used to wear back in the days, they're coming back. Like now people wear jorts.
Yo, that threw me off. That I seen that this summer. Like that really came back this summer. That still like has to grow on me. It's still throwing me off a little.
It's so crazy because I was always a fan of jorts.
Like, oh really?
Even
I was about to shit on it.
I know you was, but even like probably like 4 or 5 years ago, I remember I wore a pair of jorts, and my sister's looking at me like, "Yo, take those off." I'm like, "What you mean?" Like I look good. And now people wearing them. You see people wearing baggy tees. Again. You see big ass cargos and stuff.
Yeah. If you do it right, you do it right. I'm not gonna knock you, but if it's not right and it feels forced, I'm not. You know, because a lot of these trends, people just throw it on because it's a trend. Yeah. And it feels forced. But if you've been doing that,
but history repeats itself. Like it's bound to have come back at some point. Like who knows? Probably like another 5 years from now, people are gonna start wearing skinny jeans again.
I hope not.
I hope not either. But
that's not it.
Repeats itself.
Even like when I think of like Erykah Badu, she was ahead of her time. Because a lot of like females that can dress now, they emulate like Erykah Badu, but a little bit more 2023, like slutty, you know, like more skinning out. But she was ahead of her time for sure, and you could see that cycle coming like again.
It's like a kind of like a hippie, but
like a earthy, Yeah,
I see that a lot nowadays.
Yeah, especially like in certain areas of Brooklyn, you're gonna see that more than others. Like in Williamsburg, you're gonna see that a lot. Yeah,
Williamsburg is really hippie central. Low key.
High key.
What is your style then? Like, what would you consider your?
I would say because like I did grow up playing basketball, it's very tomboyish, but at the same time, it's like it's tasteful. I don't know how to explain it.
I like that. That shows a sign of confidence. You said tasteful.
Yeah, it's tasteful. I feel like I could dress. Like I didn't have much time to dress today, but I still feel like I look alright. Thank you. I appreciate you. I don't even see the feet, but sorry.
They're not ready for it.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that. But yeah, I've always been told I could dress, but I don't really put in much effort because I feel like naturally it just comes to me. Right. Even like growing up playing basketball, you just have to look fly, you know? Like even
it's part of the swag.
Yeah.
I feel like if you didn't come dressed nice to a game or
you're not nice. Yeah, you're not nice.
People are not worried about you. Like he's a bum.
But if you got too much gear on, you're like, trash. Yeah. If you got too much logos, that's too much. You're trash. But if you got like a tasteful, like the new feats and
you gotta look clean.
Exactly. You gotta have your socks a certain way. If you got like little details like that, if you got like the little ankle socks, you're trash. What are you doing?
That's flagrant.
Yeah.
We don't do those.
But yeah, it's just a mixture of basketball culture and just like,
Hmm.
good taste, period.
Do you
How
see
would
yourself? I'm probably asking a lot of
Nah,
questions,
nah,
but
see what you saying? I like it being asked questions too. Like,
do you ever see yourself like elevating to another type of wardrobe, like
of
maybe
course, I want to. Like once I get like some bread in.
somebody? I felt that.
I would love
I
to.
felt that.
Like my whole closet would be I would say my whole closet would be a mixture of Supreme
I measure life.
and Measure Life. Heard you, heard you. Yeah, I like stuff that people aren't wearing a lot.
Hmm.
Even when I received free shoes from playing on the team, like free Jordans, and I gave it away
Or
because I don't like looking like everybody else.
makes
And
sense.
in New York City public schools, if like Bread 11s, everybody and their mother got
That
that.
came out, yeah.
Like after
First day of school,
Christmas, it's
everybody got them
over.
on.
Yeah, after Christmas, it's over. Or
Yeah,
first day of school, like everybody got the same sneakers on. I
pretty
hate
much the
that
same
feeling.
whole fit.
Yes, I hate
Nike
that
Tech,
feeling.
ups, something.
Yeah,
That's New
no.
York City for you.
Mhm.
I
But as
felt
soon
that.
as you step out of New York, you the flyest person in the
Literally,
world.
literally,
It's
and you can have the
crazy.
calmest thing on, like, but people just. I don't know. That's one thing I love about being from New York. Like people just look at us so highly. They have us on
Yeah,
this big
yeah.
ass pedestal, and it's like, yeah, we know we the shit, but come on
Yeah.
now, it's just us.
I remember I was working at a Zoomies, not Zoomies. What's that for? Journeys. I was
Hmm.
working at Journeys in Connecticut. It's Connecticut. They don't
Hmm.
really care about how they dress. I had on like the most trash fit, and everybody just I'm getting all the sales.
Or
Everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Like my commission through the roof.
just because you look a little
Yes,
different.
yeah. But I'm like, yo, I have on the most basic fits, and you guys are going crazy.
New York. That's New
Yeah,
York
it's
for
New
you.
York.
That's New York for you. If you ain't from
Yeah,
New York, you doing something wrong. I ain't
yeah.
gonna lie, but
Nothing
it's
against
not
my
your fault.
Connecticut people, but damn, y'all doing bad.
Yeah.
That's why they call it the fashion mecca of the world, though.
I
And
feel like New York is the mecca for a lot of things, though.
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what comes with being a city with 8 million people. Like
Right.
probably more. I'm probably a little off, but that's what's gonna come with it. You have a bunch of ideas, a bunch of creatives, a bunch of people trying to make it. The
Hmm.
city of dreams.
Like literally anything anybody in the world wants, they can find it. Like you can find halal food, you can find
Yeah,
goth people. Like it's just all types of stuff here in New York.
yeah.
I
But
think that's also our downfall, though. Like that's a
why you
completely
say that?
different topic, but there's so many distractions being in New York. Like I feel like growing up, maybe if I would have lived in another state or maybe even like Long Island, where it's not so crowded,
Hmm.
that I wouldn't have been distracted by so many things growing up, and I would have maybe been more focused on my goals.
That's so true.
So right now I'm 24. I probably would have been right where I'm at the age of like 20
It's
if
true
I lived somewhere else.
because like even like little things like peer pressure in New York, I feel like is ramped up to 1,000.
It's crazy.
It's ramped up here because it's so much pressure to like fit the status quo. And I think just interacting with all these different personalities, it's bound to make you want to be the personality that everybody gravitates
Hmm.
towards. Like everybody wants to be the main character. Everybody wants to like just be the life of the party here in a way. And I feel like that can be
Right.
distracting because the life of the party is somebody that is always some people are always taking from them and they don't really have time for themselves because they
Right.
always trying to people please and say yes to everybody and please everybody.
100%.
Yeah, but at least you can see that
Right.
and
A
rise
lot of people
above it.
don't.
Yeah, a lot of people don't until it's like too late and their dreams is just like just distant memories.
Hmm. But I think what helped me with that, like, I told myself from young, maybe like middle school, I was like, yo, one of the most scariest things to me is being 30 and broke.
Mm,
30 and broke, that's kind of crazy.
yeah, I know a couple of y'all out
I know a
there.
lot, and it don't look good. Like you
It's a
wake
bad look.
up stressed every day, and if you have kids, oh my god, it's over.
Yeah, I know a couple of y'all that got kids too, and y'all really broke with kids, and y'all got your baby mother doing everything, fending for herself. still live with your mother. No
30
subs,
plus.
no
Yeah, no
subs,
subs.
but
Yeah, it is what it is.
yeah. Damn. I don't know. I feel like it's all about perspective at the end of the day too, because you could have been brought up in Long Island and you could have been like way different than you are now. Because even like people that live here, they have that personality that they develop just because they were forced into it,
Right.
you know?
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I do like to live by everything happens for a reason, so I don't necessarily regret or wish I lived anywhere else. Like, I'm grateful, but I do think about it sometimes. Like, yo, maybe all right, even if I stayed living here, maybe if I was just more disciplined with myself, I could have been somewhere faster, or I could have accomplished certain things faster than I did. So I don't regret anything. It was just a thought.
But now you know you need to focus up. Probably only got worse because we got more freedom now.
Exactly.
And less restrictions.
With all the social media, it's crazy.
Damn.
But we gonna be alright.
No, we gonna be alright.
We here.
Exactly. I don't know if you want to share about like just losing, losing, just like feeling like you're not being consistent enough. Because we were talking about that before. Like, what keeps you motivated when you in that state?
Honestly, family and my future keeps me motivated. So I was raised from a real family oriented dynamic. So I love being around family. Like, that's one of the things that I love the most. If I could do anything, I just spend time with my family. And why? Because most of my family is in Panama. Like, here in America, I can probably count on my two hands how many family members I have. My immediate family is 5, 6 of us. I have 4 sisters, 2 parents. That's 6, 7 of us in total. And all right, it's probably on like 3 hands. I could count how many.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not much of us. And I know people who have maybe like 50 members in this state alone.
Me. That's me. I can't relate.
Right. All of my family is Panama. Like, I go to Panama, I talk to 100 people in a day. That whole family. But back to the point, I eventually one day want to be the person that brings all of my family together.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
And yeah, that's just what I want to do. Like, nothing makes me feel better than being around my family and being able to provide for them. And then aside from that, God, my faith in God just keeps me motivated, knowing that He's walking with me and guiding me along the way everywhere I go. That kind of just gives me that push to keep going. One of the things I live by is faith without works is dead. I think that's John chapter 2, verse like 14 or something like that. Faith without works is dead. So no matter what you're doing, if you're not putting in the work, you can have all the faith in the world. If you're not putting in the work, nothing's gonna happen. So that's what keeps me motivated. Like, all right, I know I want to be a millionaire, but what am I doing to become that millionaire? What am I using my time? Who am I being around? Who am I talking to? What am I learning?
I think it's a beautiful connection when you build a connection with God and really get to know Him for yourself.
Right.
Not based off of like what you learned when you were growing up. When you really do the work and get to know God for yourself and see, you recognize Him more in your days. Because I'm praying every day, yeah. And it's like, that even gives you that mindset of intent when you wake up and when you go to sleep. You're reminding yourself, like, I actually woke up today.
Right.
Thank you for getting me through this day.
It's that gratitude.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't have gratitude.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you have a lot. Some people don't have half the things that you have, and you're over here complaining because you don't have the flyest gear in the world, but you're not hungry. You have a bed to lay in. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I learned. I think I watched the Steve Harvey interview, and he said one thing you got to do before you reach success is to give gratitude every day. If you're not thankful for the $10 that you have, you're not going to be able to handle $100. If you're not grateful and know how to handle $100, you won't be able to handle 1,000. So just that sense of gratitude, I feel like, also keeps me motivated because I don't have everything I want, but I have everything I need.
For
That's a bar
sure.
too.
Yeah, that's a bar.
That's a
Quote that,
bar.
quote that, quote that. Meli under.
Right.
It's like, even when it comes to like the money thing, right? I didn't have a bunch of money when I started. I was in my mom's closet trying to block out outside noise
Mhm.
just to make sure that everything sounded good. And I didn't
Right.
have a microphone. I was just on my phone in the closet, like looking like a crazy person, just like venting to my phone.
Oh, that's when you was doing the photo booth stuff?
Yeah, that was when I doing just audio. That was just audio. That was
Mhm.
after the photo booth. I
Okay,
graduated from
okay.
photo booth and I did just audio. And what that really taught me is that a lot of people wait for the right opportunity, and that's not even promised to you. Right now is all we actually
Right.
have, because right now is full of like every single possibility
Mhm.
ever. And it's up to you to capitalize off of
Right.
that.
Time is
Because
now.
when it comes to money, I feel like a lot of people let money get in the way of their opportunities. Because you're worth something. You're valuable with or without the money.
Right.
So that's really the mindset like I really had to focus on to even get myself to episode 67.
And then another thing, you just kind of brought a point to my head. What'd you say? You said that people wait for the right opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I learned there's never really a right opportunity. Like, you create that right opportunity once you start putting in the work. And when it comes to the brand, like, I'll get a lot of ideas, and then it was times early on in the path to starting the brand that, like, some of my ideas I would see other people doing them. Mind you, I've never put them out, never even put it on paper. It was just a thought. I'm like, yo, these thoughts really don't belong to us. Like, they're going. It's somewhere in the realm. Like, these thoughts are just going in the realm, waiting for someone to bring it to life. I'm like, oh, why not just put it into fruition? Why not just make it happen instead of waiting for the right time? Because, like I said, there's never gonna be a right time. It's either you do it or you don't. Somebody's gonna do it eventually.
It's interesting you brought up that point that these thoughts don't really belong to us, because for me, like, I was brought up like any single time I have a thought, I try to execute as fast as possible. And I don't know if that sometimes that can be bad, because sometimes I do put stuff out prematurely, but at the same time there's a lot of benefit to doing that, because then you get to exercise your creativity. You get to see what, like, you get to like see your potential basically, even when it's not perfect.
But you don't even have to put it out per se. Like, you can just
that's true.
like you was doing the photo booth stuff.
That's true.
Let's say you had a speech you wanted to give. You could do it for photo booth and never release it. Or in my case, I do some sketches sometimes, but I don't post them anywhere, because I'm like, if I post a design, someone's gonna steal it. They might not even steal it directly, but they could be influenced from that, and then it might pop off more. But
damn, I didn't even think of that.
That's what I'm saying. These ideas don't belong to us. Like, we have ideas in our head that God specifically put for us. Like, we all have our own abilities, special abilities that God gave. But at the end of the day, it's how many people in this world? 8 billion, 7 billion?
Yeah, something like that.
There's
8
no
billion.
way you're the only one thinking
With
what
that,
you're thinking.
you know, I'm thinking of this story, right? I don't even know where I heard this story from. Where did I get this story from? But it was about I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about this. But it was about monkeys, right? And they all lived on different islands, but the islands weren't far from each other. It was like in the same, body of ocean. And basically, these monkeys were trying to learn how to like break a nut, but they didn't know how to do it. And then one monkey on one of the islands found out how to break the nut. And then, like, over time, eventually the other monkeys were doing it the same exact way that monkey figured out, but they had no way to tell each other how to break the nut. But around the same time they figured it out, everybody else started figuring it out all the monkeys started figuring it out on the different islands.
What do you think?
I don't know what it is, but it's just an interesting thought that these thoughts really aren't ours, And it was, and he was even talking about, Neil deGrasse Tyson is my favorite like person to watch on interviews. He's so smart. He was talking about like how the television was created it was 3 people that had the same patent for color television around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was like I'm just making up dates right now. It's like 1866, 1867, 1888, and the same person found out how to bring color to television. Right. But it was around the same like, year back to back. So like all of these guys had the same epiphany at the same time. You know what I mean?
Not even in the same area.
Like, yeah, they were like all over the and they try to make the patent, but of course, America got the credit because it's America at the end of the day. But it's just interesting seeing like stuff or hearing about stuff like that.
That's why when people tell me they're not really spiritual, I'm like, yeah, let me stay away from it because there's no way you think that we are the only entities in this universe. There's no way. Like, who are we?
Yeah,
we're probably very minuscule to all of the things that there really is.
No, that's a fact. Like, how don't you believe in nothing? That's why when people say they're atheists, I try to stay away from them. I'm sorry if I lost any of y'all, but it's probably not for you. This
right? It's not the
like when you say that. Like I'm backing I'm backing all the way away from you because how don't you believe that? How don't you believe in God? Period. I don't care if you think there's 10 gods, but you don't believe in nothing.
Right.
You just believe in what? What do you believe in for real?
Themselves. Legit.
But like, are you that like self-centered that you don't see life is bigger than you?
People think they're the biggest thing around town, honestly.
Yeah, and I don't know. Y'all losing me.
Honestly, don't even want to be the biggest thing around town. Like I feel like having the faith in God, somebody bigger than me. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it takes a huge weight off my chest. Like there's things in this world that I can't control. There's things that I have no control over. And I don't want control over those things either because it's like that's more. I already work 9 to 5. I run a brand. I have family to deal with. Like I already have enough on my plate. I don't want to be in control of everything that's going on in the world.
I mean, I seen it firsthand that God is real. So I hope all of y'all could experience what I'd be experiencing. Like I have so many testimonies, and it's like people that do claim they're atheists. Like I feel like. Probably they just haven't lived life enough then. Because how have you not seen God? Like, he's everywhere.
Right.
Y'all losing me, but...
Some people's situations is just different.
That's true. Because
you never really know what anyone been through. But...
Yeah. But I'd rather you be an atheist than you a devil worshiper. Like, that's OD.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
Let's go to our TikTok. Let's go to our TikTok.
See, I could come up with some questions for you too.
Okay, I like this question from Nyla Young. When was a specific time God revealed himself to you at a time you really needed to rekindle the hunger you have for your building your brand?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say God has made his presence known many times. And last year specifically, but this time it's not like, it wasn't specific to the brand, but just towards my life. But I guess that affects the brand. But last year I went through a little breakup. It wasn't the best time. I'm not going to speak too much on it. It wasn't the best time. But after that, I don't know. I just had different conversations with different people, and they were all just leaning more towards God and just telling me like, yo, you got to get right with God and things will get better. And then I went on a self-healing journey, I guess you would call it. I don't really know what to call it, but I pretty much isolated myself for about the whole year. Of course, I spoke to people, but as far as going out, going on dates, or even entertaining anyone, I didn't do any of that. No sex, no partying, none of that. And I devoted a lot of time to God. And I don't know, that was the most powerful and most righteous I ever felt in my life. Like, I felt like nothing could defeat me. And things were just going good. So that's what let me know, like, yo, with God on your side, you can do anything.
No, for sure.
And you can't really, like, you can do stuff without God, but it's not going to go the way you want it.
it's gonna be chaotic and just all over the
Yeah.
place and not make sense to you.
'Cause I feel like
Today,
with God, he's literally guiding you. Like all you
yeah,
have to
he
do is
is.
listen,
Exactly.
listen and follow the signs. Like
Mm-hmm.
with my life, I don't do things that feel wrong. Like you ever have a situation and you can pick either go left or go right,
Yes.
and you look left and you're like, nah, that ain't it. And then you look right, and then just it feels so
Now that you
majestic.
said that, I have a memory. I like last weekend, I
Mhm.
had that like kind of like because I don't really go out. Like I just focus on my work,
Mhm.
my podcast, and just trying to better myself. Period, in any way,
Right.
shape, or form. So I try to go into old habits, and it did not work. Like I think the universe really like showed me in a different way. Yeah, like I try to go into because I don't really smoke weed like that anymore. Barely drink. And even during the summer, I'm proud of myself. Usually, this is the time like I'm the most tempted to do these things, but I don't feel the temptation. But I felt the temptation last weekend, Saturday. I called out and everything. I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go out with my friend. Like, we're gonna be outside, da 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 da, all of that, rah rah stuff. And already, I felt like it was just off. Like,
Something
not in
just wasn't
terms of
right.
her, but in terms of the environment. Like it just felt like, yo, this doesn't resonate with me anymore. Like y'all playing music, bucking it to 100 miles. I mean, 100,
Yeah.
volume 100, racing down the street. Like it just
It's like,
felt
why?
very, yeah, it felt very like,
That's
damn,
gross.
I'm putting my life at risk right now. Like
For
I'm
what?
really, but the old me don't care. Like I wouldn't have cared. Like the fuck, like we gonna make it there. But
Right.
long story short, I got to the place. We were out in Long Island. We wasn't even there for 5 minutes, and I witnessed somebody get shot for the first time. It was the
Damn.
craziest experience of my life. I have never been so like in fear, and seeing other people in fear too was crazy. That happened last weekend.
Damn.
And that whole experience reminded me like, yo, stop forcing things. Cause that was a forced experience.
And you
Like
didn't
I didn't
have to
even
go.
plan to go. Yeah. Like my day did not make out to be in Long Island at some spot. Like
And you
I
called off from work too.
yeah, just to do it. And it's like, yo, sometimes you don't need to be forcing things just because you did it before. That doesn't mean it's gonna like help you with where you're trying to go
Right.
now.
Or just because your friends are saying like, oh, come on, like.
Yeah.
And perfect example for this, I remember in college that so I was the only friend out of my group of friends that had a car,
Mhm.
and I think
Oh damn, you was lit.
a little bit, but I think what movie came out? This had to be, I think, Avengers, one of the Avengers. But you know how the only movie theater was in Oneonta.
Yeah.
By the way, if y'all didn't know, we went to school together, but we didn't really know.
Yeah, facts.
But the only movie was in Oneonta,
Mhm.
so we had to drive 30 minutes out, and the whole day, like they're telling me, like, "Yo, we out to see the movie tonight." And just something in me is like, "Nah, I don't want to go, bro. Like, I don't feel like driving today." And they just kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going. So after a while, I'm like, "All right, we out." After I get my work done, we out. Why? 10 minutes into the drive to Oneonta, we hit a deer. The deer hit us. The whole grill to the car is done. And I'm like, yo, I knew I should have stayed my ass in my dorm.
See,
like,
stuff like that. Stuff like that.
like, why?
It's real life.
And then after that, I told them, I'm like, yo, anytime I tell you I don't want to do something, I'm not doing it. Like, don't try to influence me to do it because you see what just happened. We didn't even go see the movie. Like after that happened, I'm like,
of
yeah,
course
we're
not.
going back. We're going
nah,
back.
that's all a dub after that.
Yeah. But that was one point in my life that showed me like, yo, if you truly don't feel like doing something, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna end
Yeah.
well. And ever since then, like I just go with my heart. If it feels good, I'm doing it. If it doesn't feel good, if I'm a little shady about it, I'm gonna think 2-3 times about it. And the spirit is real.
Yeah. And when you understand that, I feel like you're able to recognize God more too. Because even today I recognized him again when I was at the Brooklyn Public Library. I was editing an episode. And some guy walks up to me, he's like, yo, what's your name? I'm like, Deja. It's like, oh, I'm Brandon. I'm just like, what the fuck this nigga want? You know, like I'm trying to edit.
Right.
I'm thinking he's trying to talk to me. But then he's like really like, yo, I see something in you. I'm like, what? He's like, you're not like everybody else. Like, you're not average. Like stuff like that I don't take lightly. You know what I mean? And then it's just like confirmation that he's just like, yo, like, you're very beautiful. And I just want to let you know that I could see I could see that you're going somewhere. And I was just like,
real.
Yo, oh my God, like,
And
where am I going? Tell me more.
He didn't want nothing else. Like,
no, that's all he said, and he just left. I was just like, yo, what is going on?
No, it's crazy, but I be feeling like stuff like that is like an angel. Like, you might never see them again.
Yeah. He told me I look like some actress, and then I was like, who's this actress? And I looked her up. I'm like, nah, I don't look like her. And he just walked off, and I'm like, yo, wait, I want more. Like, tell me more about like what you see in me.
Tell
you know,
me my future.
Yes, type shit. But nah, that was like just confirmation again. Every time I come here, it's confirmation for me.
Because of
just the atmosphere and just like being inspired, knowing that, you know, some great podcasters sat here, you know, including me. So
right?
Yeah.
The one and only.
Yeah.
Now that is dope. Once you see yourself in rooms that you never even thought of being in before, it is like, oh, like I'm really doing something, and it's still just the beginning.
Exactly.
Like the fact that so many people like my brand, like I knew my brand was gonna be cool, but I didn't think it was gonna have the impact that it has. Like people really tell me all the time, like, "Yo, your brand is so fire. I love what it means. I love what you're doing." And I've never really heard anything bad about it. Like some people might tell me they don't like a design or something.
They hate
overall, they like the brand.
Yeah.
I've never had someone tell me, "Yo, your brand is whack." But I think that's more so just the energy that I'm putting out. Because they say that energy that you put out, you're going to get that back. If you put out negative energy into the atmosphere, you're going to get that back at some point.
And so I feel like a lot of like, back to New York, like New Yorker is a whole like personality and a whole spirit. A lot of people feel like, especially females, they feel like, yo, bitches be hating. Like everybody be hating on me and da. When you put out that, you're going to attract people to hate on you. So I tell people that all the time. Yeah,
you attract what you put into the atmosphere. My pops told me from young, the mouth has a lot of power. So anything I put out into the atmosphere, you're gonna always hear me saying something positive. Like even with basketball, my friends tell me I'm one of the cockiest people. But it's like, yo, I'm not gonna say nobody's better than me. It could be LeBron.
Yeah.
I'm busting LeBron out.
No, for sure. And that's how you should feel, honestly. I feel like a lot of people try to trick us out of it, because they don't see that in themselves. But that's on you.
That's misery love company. Misery loves company. That's one thing I learned early on. And if you're a miserable person, stay away from me, because
please,
I don't need that.
Please, not on this end.
I don't need that. I don't know if you've seen that video. The dude was standing on the table. He's like, wait, he said, he's like, you coming over here with all of that negative.
Oh, yeah. Leave that over there. Over here, we effing positive. Nah, I love that video. So all that negative shit.
That's a mood every single day.
Yeah. And I've experienced, like, firsthand, I had a best friend look me in the eyes and say, like, yo, I'm jealous of you. And that's not a good feeling. That really broke my heart, you know? And that made me feel like, yo, I have nobody now. Like,
I've gotten that before too.
You did? Yo, that feeling, like, really haunts you.
And it's like, yo, you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
This is my life. Like, what you want me to do? Give you what I got? Like,
and they try to remix it like, oh, no, I'm inspired. I'm like, no, that's two different things, because I had that feeling and now you confirmed it, you know? And I'm like, yo, what do I do now? But for people to actually like boast, like, yo, I got bitches hating on me, that's not something you should boast on, you know? Because that is very dangerous. People really do have ill intentions. And I rather focus on the people with good intentions, because I feel like that multiplies. Where your intention goes, that multiplies. Right. Yeah.
100%. I don't know. People like being most hated. I like being the most loved guy in the room, because people still might snake you, but I'm so aware of things that I'm like, nah, I won't even give you the opportunity to do that. And like I said, the energy that you put out, you get that back. So people show me love everywhere I go. Honestly, I'm not like patting my back and that, but people genuinely show me
That's
love
dope.
anywhere I go, and
That says a
it
lot
feels
about
good.
you.
Yeah.
So do you like, for me personally, because we both do this by ourselves. Like you're building your brand by yourself from the ground up, and I'm doing the same. It's not an easy process. Do you feel like, damn, I wish I had more support? Because I feel like that a
More
lot.
support.
Like a team
Definitely
of like individuals that loved what you do as much as you love what you do.
I definitely wish I had
Me
a team.
too.
One, financially, I wish I had a team as well, because literally all the money's coming from me. Like I rarely get to enjoy my paychecks because I'm putting them into the brand, paying stuff back. Two, some days I just want to rest. Like, but I know if I take too much rest, the brand is not gonna flourish. The brand is not, because it's an engine. You gotta feed the engine for it to keep working. But as far as support, I do wish I had more support. And if you're watching this, I'm open to, I guess, interns. I ain't gonna lie, you might get paid once the money start coming in, but we a team, you feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
But if I had people that devoted their time to the brand as much as me, it would be much appreciated.
And I feel like I keep going back to New York because I'm really from here. I feel like a lot of people feel like support is like, you know, labeled as a negative, you know?
Like it's dick riding.
Exactly.
People
and I
are weird.
hate that.
Like,
yeah.
But knowing that, I just keep it pushing. Like, I know somewhere along the way, I'm going to get the support. Like, I mean, even little by little, I do get it because, so I guess people, like I said, I get love everywhere. I guess because of the energy I put out. But because I've been going so hard with my brand, I guess people can sense that. People see that. So I have, like, videographers hit me up.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
they'll be like, yo, let's work. And I'm not the type of person to want to just get free anything from anyone. Like, of course, if you're offering it, I'll take it. But I'll be like, yo, nah, I'll pay you, and they'll charge me a lower rate than I guess they'll charge other people. But because of that, I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, little by little, I'm getting support here and there. I don't have anyone that's permanent, but I know along the way I'm gonna find someone.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like if we, like, as a collective culture, like Black people, period, supported each other the way these white people be supporting each other.
Not even just white people though, like Muslims.
Yeah, a lot of different cultures.
Every other culture.
Yeah, that's so true. They support each other till the wheels fall off. And it's like, for us, it's so hard to get that. And support is free. It's really not that hard.
It's way too much ego.
All you have to do is just share your friend post. I have people that, like, don't even claim they're my friends or family, and they don't even follow me on my podcast page. And I don't take it personal because I just want to see the evolution. Just keep the same energy, you know?
Like, once you popping, man.
Yeah.
Like, I seen you over there. Stay over there.
I just, that day is going to be hilarious to me. I always talk about it because I know it's going to come.
But you can't let that phase you though.
Yeah, it's my motivation though.
You get rotten yourself.
Yeah, but I think that's how I it may be sick. I probably need some therapy, but that's my motivation. Like, the first time my mother listened to my podcast, she violated. She made me cry. Damn. She violated. She was like, yo, she's Jamaican. I'm gonna say it in English. She was like, yo, like, this is stupid. Why would you curse like this on here? Why are you talking about school as a scam? This is not, like, okay. Like, you go to school, you're in college. Why are you talking about school as a scam? Right. This makes no sense, Deja. Like, are you okay? Like, I started crying like a little baby because that was my tough. Yeah.
I was hoping to hear something good from her.
Yeah.
But it could have also been just a generational thing. Like,
she didn't understand it.
Right.
She didn't understand it. And I'm not mad at it, but it really just, that's my motivation. That stuff like that motivates me to make her one day be like, yo, I'm proud of you. I'm like,
So does she watch it now, or does she still feel the same way?
She feels the same exact way. Right. Yeah.
I would say, like, yo, once the money start coming in, people's mind change completely.
Yo, for real.
Completely, but that's the world we live in.
Yeah, but that goes back to support. Like, I could have been I mean, I don't want to dwell on the past, but if I had that little like confirmation, you know how like it could have like expedited where I am now. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm using it as motivation because I still want to be like, what about the podcast? Yeah.
No, that's dope.
Yeah.
Everybody's motivation is different. Trying to think of a question to ask you.
Okay, let's go back to our TikTok question. Or you could think of a question.
Who is someone that you would love to podcast, to have on a podcast?
Amanda Seales.
Amanda Seales.
Yeah, this is like the 10th time I'm saying this.
Is it crazy that I don't know who that is?
All right, do you watch Insecure? With Issa Rae?
I've watched a few episodes.
She's the light-skinned one with the blonde hair. I'm going to just pull up a picture.
Blonde hair. But why her?
She's a big podcaster, and that's like one of the first podcasts I actually resonate with, and I like how she just is as a person. She's very like smart, but at the same time, she's funny. She's mad funny. And that's like, you know, the vibe I would like to go for, you know? I applied for a job for her podcast. I'm still waiting to hear back.
I don't know who that is.
Damn. Well, I know who she is.
Well, Amanda Seales,
I know who you are. No Amanda Seales slander here, please.
Come get interviewed and come chop it up with the great Deja. It's good vibes over here.
Yeah.
Good energy.
Yeah. And I feel like she's a Brooklynite too. So
she's from Brooklyn?
Yeah.
That's dope. Shout out to Brooklyn, man. Shout out to everybody from Brooklyn. If you're from Brooklyn, you probably got a great soul. There's a lot of shiesty ones, but I know deep down you got a good heart.
Yeah, under all of that toughness.
Under all that pain.
Yeah, I have a lot of people I want to podcast with though. Wolf from Halfway Up. I wanna collab with you.
What's going on? Ain't he here every day?
Yeah.
I was gonna be working. He be busy.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself 10 to 20 years from now? Like, it could be...
I don't like thinking that far out. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah. Because I feel like that puts limitations on where I could potentially go. I like I'm very spontaneous.
But you know, like you say it puts limitations, but I feel like, so life is about perspective. So you thinking 10, 20 years from now, I feel like it does the opposite. It kind of sets a standard for where you should be. Because limitations is like, it's not like you think in 10 years, like, oh, I want to.
It's just because I like focusing on the now because the unknown scares me. It brings me anxiety. Yeah. So just for on my own peace of mind, I just like not thinking that far out.
But do you think it's more so of like, what you might call it, a personal thing? Like, yo, if I don't have this, then I'm letting myself down?
I think it's just too much, like, when I think that far out. I don't know. It's just like my brain literally, like, I just don't like thinking that far out because the unknown scares me, like I said.
So realistically, how far do you think out?
Like the week. No, I'm being so serious. It just puts less pressure on me, like mentally.
I don't know. I feel like I can't think only as far as a week.
That's like, why even like when you say your birthday's next week and you're like, yo, what you got planned? And I'm just like, maybe I'll go here. And I know I'm going to go there, but like, I don't like planning things. It's just not in me to plan things, you know?
Well, I'm going to say, I think you should just at least have an idea of what you want to do 10, 20 years from now. Because then
I know what I want, but I can't picture it.
You could kind of navigate a little better where you want to go. Like if you know you want to be a public speaker, podcasting is perfect for that because now you're practicing how to speak to people. You're practicing talking in front of a crowd, and you'll know like, all right, I need to stay within this realm. But if public speaking is not,
no.
Or let's say you want to be a wrestler, podcasting is not what you should be doing if you want to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I
true.
get what you're saying, but I don't
But
know
I
the way I
still
think
think
about it.
everything connects at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I think you could take something from anything. Even if you think it doesn't connect, you could find something that connects with it.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is
But I
true.
know what I want to do, but like to actually picture myself and be like, yo, I could envision this. I probably need to work more on that.
So what do you want to do then?
I want to do like filmmaking, like creative directing
So
along that
you
realm.
think pretty far out.
Yeah, I know that I want to do it, but to actually say like, yo, in 10, 15 years from now, I will be in LA with the like I can't even like fathom all of that. Like,
Nah, I don't. That's real specific. I don't think down to the T, but
you have an idea.
yeah, like 10, 15 years from now, I'm gonna definitely be a licensed architect.
Ooh.
I wanna have my own like studio to create in. So I'll do like I said, the furniture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do clothing in there, do architecture in there. Have a wife and kids. Like that. It's still pretty broad, but I have an
Yeah.
idea. Like I have a. It's kind of like a picture on the wall. Like
You
I
see,
look
I
at
have an
every morning.
idea, but when I start thinking about the idea, I have to think about the details of the idea, and then it just gets overwhelming.
I get it.
Like, how am I gonna get there? I haven't even, like, say, like, oh, I want to be married by this, but how am I gonna get there if I'm, like, I've been in one relationship for
Right.
real, so it's like, how am I
Shit,
gonna
now
get
you know
there?
you gotta get out there more.
Yeah,
Put yourself in that pool.
yeah. I just have to throw myself out in the deep end and learn how to
Yeah.
swim for real.
Throw yourself in that fire for real.
Yeah, I just don't like getting burned for real.
Yeah. Let's see.
That was a good one though. I like that question. Yeah. I need to work on answering that question. I feel like that's a common question that I always feel like, I don't know.
Cause
Even on job interviews, they ask that a lot.
And you never have a.
I always be bullshitting. Whatever you want to hear, I'm gonna answer.
I want to
Like,
be a CEO.
yeah. Whatever sounds good to you, I need that job.
I don't know. It's kind of like just having a structure. Like you said, too many people live in the now.
Yeah, I'm contradicting myself when I say
bit.
that. Like long term and short term. That's how I started off the episode, but I'm kind of contradicting myself. But I don't think I still have that long term mindset. But at the same time, I feel like tomorrow's not promised. I know it's a dark way of thinking.
But you're right.
Yeah. So like when I think of something, I'm trying to like
get to it.
Execute right now because like tomorrow is not promised.
How do you think that works for you? Is it?
I think it's good. I think it's working for me so far. But like I said, sometimes I do put out stuff prematurely, and I need to like really like work on it and plan it out better. But for the most part, I'm happy.
You gotta think a little further out.
Yeah, I do. I do. Even like these interviews, like I set this up last like.
I mean,
oh no, this was planned out. This was planned out. You gave me a day. Yeah, you gave me a day. But usually, when I set up podcast interviews, it's pretty chaotic. It's like, yo, you trying to be on? And like, when? Like tomorrow? Like, oh, all right.
I mean, sometimes it's like that though. Especially in New York, everybody's busy. It's kind of hard to get someone to come to a certain place at a certain time. Because even with my brand, we're doing shoots. Legit, I'll hit people up the same day. Like, yo, bro, I'm shooting at 5:00. Can you make it? And they're like, no, I have to reach out to the next person. But it's still gonna get done.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I remember the commercial for the shorts.
Yo, that was fire.
Thank you.
At Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah. So originally the plan was to have like 5, 6 different people there. 2 people playing each different sport. It was gonna be basketball, football, soccer. And I had people that was gonna come. The day of, people canceling. Ended up with one dude, just the guy you see in the video.
Oh, and it worked out.
It worked out. That's why I was like, you know what? Maybe this might have been the better idea. Like, if we tried to do it with too many different people, it would have been a bunch of confusion, too much for the commercial. And everything happens for a reason.
No, that worked out pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you. Shout out to Lost Shot. Shout out to my son Tish.
Even the idea, you had that idea with multiple people?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Nah, it worked better with one person, though.
It did. I don't know how it would have came out with a bunch of people, I was kind of envisioning like a Nike type vibe.
It gave Nike vibes when I looked at it.
But the one person, it worked out pretty good, honestly. So I can't complain.
Yeah. It was funny as fuck. I don't know. That's the thing with planning too that kind of scares me. It's like your plans don't always happen. You know? That's I'm like, you know what? Let me leave it to God. God, you gonna plan this out for me? I'm gonna just go.
No, but that's what faith without works is dead. Like that's a big thing. You gotta.
But I am doing the work in the now. You know?
But you can't just like. I know they say let go and let God, but you gotta put in some type of work. Like you gotta plan something, and then whatever happens along the way is like that's God.
Like but God's plan, Drake said God's plan. I'm just gonna follow whatever God want me to follow in my days.
But look, you see, God's plan was for there to be one person in the video, in the commercial. But I went out and got 6.
Okay.
And it's like, yo, if I didn't go out and get 6, I would have had none.
Okay. Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
But I get what you're saying.
Like God's gonna put in and take out whatever you don't need or whatever you do need and add it to the plan. But you still gotta have the plan.
Maybe I need to go back to the drawing boards, guys, after this.
We gonna be alright though.
Because I'm doing the work. It's not like I don't, but like I see by faith, not by sight. You see, I know some scriptures too. Stop playing with me. I see by faith, not by sight.
That's
so I really, I really know that everything's gonna be good, even if I don't have the plan yet. I'm gonna work on it. But is there like any last questions you're gonna ask? I'm gonna wrap it up.
Trying to think. Ain't gonna cop some Measure Life, yo.
No, I'm a cop up, and all y'all need to cop some Measure Life. You see the Gary.
Check out the site, measurelife.us.
See it.
Once again, the Instagram is measure.life. My personal is Meli Fet. We got a 50% sale going on right now, but I don't know, by the time she air this, it might not be going on. So
damn, I need to hop on that right now then.
Might luck out. Y'all might luck up, y'all might not. But it's a pleasure to be here.
Appreciate you for coming. Yep. Measure Life.
Bobby.
Yeah, big collab. Thank you if you listened to the end of this episode. I appreciate you. Shout out to you. You real, you loyal. I appreciate you all the way to the end of another episode. Like, wow, like that's crazy.
Episode 67, that's big.
Yeah, it's big.
I know people that started podcasts and still only have like 4, and it's been a year.
Yeah, I know some of those. So too.
Big ups.
Appreciate you. So make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, mother. That is mind over matter, baby.
That was dope.